Welcome, guys, to another episode of
Welcome.
Blockchain Brew Show. I'm T Square. This is my co-host Trentinator. We're dabbing in. Dabbing. Cough. I dabbed too hard, guys. I coughed myself. Good.
He said I coughed myself.
I caught myself good, man. Please smash that golden like button. Smash it like this. Not down, but up, because that's what Trentinator loves to see. He loves the golden thumb, and he wants you to smash that like button. And please, guys, see this bell? This is the sound of success. Success you can find in the corners right over there. And why we have to have success is because YouTube makes you ask for success. So we ask to keep our YouTube fathers happy. But over here on Rumble, which you can find us over there if you haven't subscribed yet, they like us over there. And the algorithm favors the Blockchain Brew Show. Why? Because they love their brew and they love free speech. That's why. So
It's kind of like having your own personal Chinese spy, right? It's like we have our own personal YouTube overlord that punishes us if we don't ask for a like and subscribe every 10 minutes.
Every 10 seconds. And then we got our basement over here on Twitch. They just love us over there. They smile and wave and troll some more. But guys, before we get started today,
Only can never be seen.
I brought an Icicle Brewery AZ Double IPA. Trent doesn't know what this is. This is called Water Trent because he lives in the desert. And this is a valley. This is a valley. Have you ever seen an icicle before, Trent?
An icicle. Yeah, I've seen like an icicle hanging off of a house. I'm
Not
pretty
off
sure.
a TV show.
In Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys,
I've seen snow that was higher than a barn.
yeah, it's not called snow. It's called sleet. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna ASM Trented. Yeah, so we got double IPA, man. Let's go down the hash, dude. I'm glad to have a good beer after that long ass fast. Tasty. We got 8 people watching. Please smash that like and hit that subscribe so we can make Trent happy.
Let's get the likes up to the watchers, as they say.
The like up to subscribers. Even better. Let's see.
Well, first let's get the watchers up to the subscribers, and then the likes up to the watchers.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Trent, you want to open your beer before going to the news?
Yes. I was just
guys. I need to break this. Trent is sober Friday for Trent.
Psych. I'm
Just
bringing back.
man.
Oh, hold on. I gotta do one thing. I gotta shed some light on the situation here. You didn't tell me I was looking dim, like looking like the Grim Reaper himself.
There were some problems with that observation due to wearing sunglasses indoors.
I'm bringing you back a Trapped in the 90s. I drank a space cookie the last 2 days, so I gotta switch it up. We got a Trapped in the 90s.
I like the cookie one. You should send me a cookie one.
Yeah, it is a double dry hopped hazy double IPA coming in at 8.5% even from Monkish Brewing Company in Anaheim, California, right up the street from Disneyland. Up the street, down the street, I don't know. I don't have a great sense of direction, but I have a sense of direction.
I heard Disneyland is not as good as it used to be. Is that true or false?
I don't know. I just started going last year.
Oh.
It has this nice little message for you at the top. It says, drink freshie.
How do we know that?
How do we know what?
That's what it says.
Because I can read it.
Well, we can't read it.
Yeah, it was, I mean...
Say hoopagala, and we'll think it says hoopagala.
A little ASMR pop. And...
That was a good pop.
Our pour. Put a +1 in the chat for Caleb and Brown if you were here last night and you enjoyed the interview. Don't ban Molly from the comments.
She's just in time.
Can you unban her or no?
I'm assuming somehow. I thought I could just unban it. Well, because she'll come back in a few minutes because that one guy, Isaiah or whatever his name was, that was coming to trolling. I put him in timeout and he came back in 5 minutes.
Well, if she has more than one account she can troll you from. So, let's see here. Oh yeah. On the nose. Nice and soft and floral.
Wonder how
On the palate, thick, creamy. Yeah, this one has a much more thick, pillowy texture than the space cookie. You wouldn't think so. You would think that the lactose in the space cookie would thicken it up a bit, but that's not always.
Wait,
I realized
milk in the cookie.
that was an assumption that I had, in the past, and it doesn't always work that way. But yeah, this Trapped in the 90s. This is up there for me. This is the second highest hazy IPA that I would rate on the show. I've been giving it about an 8.2, so it's solid.
Yeah. I love 8.2. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, let's get on with it.
That's all right. All the news. What happened in crypto today? Here's what happened in crypto today. Need to know what happened in crypto today? Yes, I do. Here's the latest news on the daily trends and events impacting Bitcoin's price, blockchain, DeFi, NFTs, Web3, and crypto regulations. Today in crypto, U.S. lawmakers remain divided over digital asset legislation as questions mount about President Trump's ties to industry. Meanwhile, Singapore's central bank was effectively barred most crypto firms from offering foreign-only services, as Kraken was warned that careless behavior at crypto conference is putting attendees at risk. Oh, that's interesting. Crypto market structure hearing devolves into partisan claims. Is this actually worth reading? It's actually a kind of boring article. I might skip that one. That's okay. Can I skip that one?
Yeah.
It looks kind of boring. Singapore confirms near ban on foreign-only digital token services. Monetary authorities in Singapore has shed light on digital token services providers. Isn't that where BitFi is? Regime following widespread panic in the industry over potential ban on crypto firms serving overseas clients. In a June 6th announcement, Mass reiterated that started June 30, the crypto firms providing services solely to customers outside of Singapore relating to digital payment tokens and tokens of capital markets products will need to be licensed. However, the regulators warned that such licenses will be granted only in extreme limited circumstances. Mass has set the bar high for licensing and will generally not issue a license. The agency said, citing the difficulty of supervising offshore firms and money laundering risks as key concerns. Oh, really? I'm sure that's their concern. Mass has set the bar high for licensing and will generally not issue a license. The agency said, citing the difficulty of supervising offshore firms' money laundering risks as a key concern. Mass is unable to effectively supervise such persons, regulator added. Consequently, businesses unable to obtain licenses will have to cease their regulated activities. The crypto market took notice when the mass. What is mass? What is mass? Oh, Monetary Authority of Singapore. Okay, Monetary Authority Singapore set a deadline on June 30th for local crypto services providers to stop offering digital token services to an overseas market earlier this month. The new rules have already triggered a shift in India serving, but Singapore-based crypto exchange WazirX announced that it will be moving to operations to Panama shortly after the MAS announcement deadline. Have you ever heard of WazirX?
I can't say I have.
Would you ever go to a place to buy Bitcoin called WazirX?
No.
It makes me think of Mount Gox. Like, is that like a Magic Gathering character?
Yeah, I can't say that I would. You know, like, I'm a simple guy. You know, I'll buy my Bitcoin, my XRP, my Cardano on Coinbase. I'll either hold it there, or I'll send it to a leverage trading exchange, or I'll send it to a cold, a cold storage wallet or a hot wallet, my own self custody wallet. You know, and then I'll buy some Cardano native tokens on MinSwap. But, you know, my on-ramp is Coinbase. You know, I'm pretty simple when it,
Well,
in
I'm
that
going to
regard.
read this next one because it actually sounds interesting to me. Will you figure out if Molly's banned, or can you figure out how to unban her?
Oh, she's fine. She'll come back if she wants to. She's
No, but I'm just curious if she is banned.
Oh, well, I don't know how to.
We got the same powers, so we should be able to figure this out,
Okay,
right?
maybe I'll go over to actual YouTube and look at
Okay.
that.
All right, now I'm going to go into reality show to pit reality show to pit Twitch streamers against each other to win one BTC. Say that 10 times fast. Reality show to pit Twitch streamers against each other to win one BTC. I can't even do it once. The website issued a notice in May warning of fraudulent cryptocurrency scheme using branding to lure investors. The House of Streams, a Netflix series licensed for the UK and Ireland, will feature online streamers in a competition to take home one Bitcoin. According to the show's website, 8 contestants with a combined 4 million followers will appear on the reality TV series set to premiere on June 18th. The series will reportedly have Twitch streamers compete in a series of challenges to win one Bitcoin, worth 104. It's unclear why Malata Film Commission, behind the production and filming of the show, chose to focus on cryptocurrency price for the contestants, but the creator of the series, Mark Holland, reportedly said the final reward couldn't have been simple cash prize or a trip to the Maldives. The website issued notice suggesting that some individuals have already used the show's association with digital assets to issue a fraudulent meme coin. We support Bitcoin, no other meme coins, the House of Stream said on May 22nd statement. Netflix is no stranger to the shows about crypto and blockchain, having been behind a documentary series including Trust No One, The Hunt for Crypto King, and the Downfall of Crypto Exchange Quadricus at CX. The streaming service announced that May that the green light production for the altruists on the lives of former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried and former Alameda Research CEO Caroline Allison. Okay.
Hey, Casey in the house. Go Chiefs.
What
Chiefs
up,
kingdom,
Sean?
baby.
Sean, we have an interview out. I don't know if you had time to watch it or not, but it is fire.
Yeah, and you know, if you're a Z-Back for, oh, was that you?
Yeah, he was trolling me.
No, was that you talking about Z-Back? I've seen someone in the comments of other videos.
Right, Crossfire, Iwa DeFi. You know, Trent, there's not a whole lot of like super interesting stuff today, to be honest with you. Trump meme coin hasn't pumped after Eric Trump says Will Liberty Finance will buy a big stack? Oh, that actually kind of interesting. But they also didn't they have just a huge unlock happening? Oh, Molly's back. So did you ban or did her timeout just wear out?
Timeout must have wore out because all I did was open her
I'm putting it back in
file
timeout.
on my computer and try it myself.
Well, I'm putting you back in timeout. ETF issuers pen letting urging SEC return to first file approvals.
Yeah, so Sean, I didn't know because it just sometimes after the fact on YouTube comments, it just shows a person's handle and not their name. So that's why I was wondering.
I was trying to read the Winklevoss article. Winklevoss. My eyes keep saying reading Winklevoss.
Well, yeah, we Sean, if you watch our interview that we put out this afternoon, it was with Believes Crypto, and we dropped a little bit of a
bombshell about BitBoy. So now you gotta go watch it and go find that bombshell.
Just something about our
history,
our backgrounds. Yeah, the long story short is I've worked for him for a while, writing scripts and managing content and other stuff, and T Square.
Well, you can't tell him that because he has to go watch the article.
Yeah.
Interview.
Okay. Yes. For obvious reasons, it was something that we didn't want to come, out in the open with right away. But, at the end of the day, like we're
both affiliates.
Well. I wouldn't say it like that, but we at the end of the day, we didn't want to go 6 months down the road and not breach that subject with our audience, because trust is important to us, and obviously he is someone that for many reasons has lost the trust of a lot of people, but anyway,
we still love him.
Cover yes. And I'm not saying it's all his fault either, that he's lost that trust. He's been going through a really difficult time in his mental health, but we cover more of it in the interview, but we're an open book for any questions, kind of.
We'll try to be an open book, dude. Check it out today though, Trent. Everything pumping in the market is what I like to see. Dude, did you pick up any white? Look at it, dude. 30% for the week. 30%.
Okay, let's do the same thing we did last night. What's the most attractive buy on that screen for you right now?
Man, it's so hard to say because everything is pumped,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'd probably say Jupe. I don't hold any Jupe, but I would say Jupe because it's the only one that hasn't pumped as hard, and I think it's going to be pretty good, and it's down pretty good.
See back. I get what you're saying, Sean. That's there's no defense for that. At the same time, there's no defense for it, but there's reasons why we wanted to sort of make our own way in the space, if that makes sense.
There's a back. I think Z-Back's going to come back down just off the bubbles to 2.6. Yes. Maybe I'll say 0.31. That's what I think they'll come do. Maybe I'm wrong. Hope I'm wrong. I hope everybody makes a lot of money on it. Trent, what did you think on this chart? What was the most attractive?
Man,
you go in and buy something right now. There's a lot of things I want to buy, but I also have to look at the percentages. So this is off the day. If you want, you know what you could do, Trent? We could go off the weekly on the same chart. That might give you a better thing. I said Juke. Crow's also probably a good pick too.
Yeah, you know what? On that list, from what I see right there, I'm gonna say Crow.
What about Trump?
Yeah, that was the next one I was gonna say.
Bong's also down.
Yeah.
Say, what is this A? You recognize this?
I do not.
Volta, previous EOS. They changed it. It used to be EOS. This is EOS.
Oh, I guess so. They rebranded. That's crazy.
Volta rebranded this week. They rebranded. What day did they rebrand?
I guess so.
They rebranded May 30th. Oh, like a week ago.
Dude.
Oh no, wait.
Too many rebrands in the space.
A week
You know,
ago.
that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. Here,
I
I'm
do-
gonna tell you why I don't like rebrands.
Me too.
And there's like
I like
maybe
XRP too.
there's an occasion for them, okay? But the reason why I don't like rebrands is imagine
What about Picoin rebranding?
I don't care. Imagine Ethereum rebranding.
Where is XRP?
Imagine XRP or Cardano or Solana for that matter rebranding. Hell, for that matter, imagine Avalanche rebranding. You know, it doesn't. It seemed when you
Hey, this is what you need to buy.
hey loaded lions, yeah. Shout out to
Coin Baron.
yeah.
What the frick was I looking at? Oh, there's XRP. Where the frick is it at on here? We'll find it. There, oh, in my face. XRP at 217. XRP is doing really good. And they will continue to do good. I don't care what anybody else says.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy. This was at $3.30. That's like another $40 billion that just comes and
Yeah.
goes. Like,
You know,
how does it just comes and goes so fast? It's incredible to me.
At about 250, I was up like 3,500 XRP on that trade.
Dang.
You know, it's come all the way back down to my entry price
Yeah.
at 208. I didn't close though. That trade is on 2x. When it came back down to my entry, I should have closed it and reopened it at 3x.
My beautiful wife closed half of her trade out yesterday and netted another 10 G's. 10x, man. And she still has, half in there.
Yeah,
So technically, right now, she's still up at 20x.
yeah,
She's crushing it on the memes, man. Crushing.
yeah. I'm not built for all that, but yeah.
I'm not built for it either, dude. I've seen people try to do it, and it's hard. You
Yeah,
have to be a special kind of smart.
yeah.
Well, do you like FET? Are you bullish on FET AI this bull run?
I'm bullish on it. Look, I know that like the ideal is that they would already be
John, are you bullish on FET?
trading under the ticker ASI by now, and the merger would be completely done. I know that's the ideal. I know that it's a little bearish that it hasn't happened, but at the end of the day, this is propositionally, this is still the top dog of AI projects in terms of what it's setting out to do. You're combining an AI marketplace through SingularityNet. You're combining AI agents through FET, and bullish on Fetch AI. He was asking.
Yeah, are you bullish on Fetch AI? Or bearish?
And you're integrating Ocean Protocol's data querying for AI, and that conglomerate is really a monster in the space. And I know that it's not complete yet, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it because I trust Ben Gertzel.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it because that kind of prowess and expertise behind a project leads me to believe that the delays are building towards something, right? Like, someone could have said, in early 2021, are you bullish on Cardano? When Cardano was, let's say it was still at, I like ICP too, Sean. Let's
Oh,
say
I like
when
ICP too.
Cardano was still at
ICP is a rendering like power, isn't it? They also do like how we have Amazon Web Services. That's kind of
right.
also what they dabble. Are they the only ones that do that?
It's a layer one. It's a layer one, and its big appeal. Okay, its big appeal. What I do think I like ICP too, but I do think that Cardano kind of came out of nowhere and crushed some of ICP's value proposition. The reason
Is
why?
that biased?
No, it is. But the reason why is because for a minute there during the bear market, the hot button topic for ICP was Bitcoin DeFi. The reason why was that you could use something called canisters, ICP canisters, and you could technically bring smart contracts onto Bitcoin and bring Bitcoin onto ICP through that. And that was ICP was the first big talk of the town when it came to Bitcoin DeFi.
But they were overevaluated like a
and
mofo.
smart contract integration. The problem is Cardano does it much more seamlessly now because it doesn't have to. It is because it doesn't have to mediate through a canister. It's all native because Cardano's transaction model is the same as Bitcoin's. There's a slight difference, and I don't, I couldn't necessarily orate all the technicals for you, but the Bitcoin transaction model is a UTXO model, right? And it stands for unspent transaction output. And it's fundamentally different from the account-based model of Ethereum, right? And so with an unspent transaction output model, they basically use the amount of the transaction that was unspent in order to keep track of all the transactions on the ledger, right? And Ethereum's account model is actually much more susceptible to security issues, right? Now, Cardano's transaction model is called an extended. It's an EUTXO, an extended unspent transaction output model. But because it's fundamentally the same model as Bitcoin, and I don't mean consensus mechanism, I mean the transaction model. Because they're fundamentally similar in that regard, Bitcoin can operate on Cardano natively. So, without the use of a complicated canister the way that ICP would do it. So I do think that the ease of that, here's the simple fact. Did ICP have two different...
Happy Friday, Calvin.
Happy Friday, Calvin. Did ICP have two different presentations at the Bitcoin conference this year about Bitcoin DeFi and smart contract integrations? No, Cardano did. So it's just I'm bullish on ICP. Don't get me wrong. I like ICP a lot.
I'll buy Zebek over ICP or ADA.
I just think that ICP for a minute had such a strong narrative with the Bitcoin DeFi, and I think that I think that
Trent, can I ask you a couple of questions about ICP?
Yeah.
So one of the things I did notice about ICP is that if you look up in the left-hand corner, total supply and circulation are complete. So it means everything that exists is in circulation. The weird part is it doesn't have a max supply. So is this inflationary? And the second thing I also noticed is that there are no tokens locked. How can there be 58% untracked? That I don't understand. What does untracked mean?
Yeah.
And then unlocked. I don't know what untracked is. And then another thing I didn't know is they had their last unlock in April. So they don't have any more unlocks. That was the last one.
Okay,
Which
well, that's good.
that was this year. So
That's
I mean,
good.
like 3 months ago, right? Which I
Yeah.
actually didn't realize they were unlocking every single month. Which is
Yeah,
kind of
I feel like
interesting
a
because
lot of unlocks
people
happen that we
shit
don't know about.
people shit all over XRP because they unlock. I'm like, hey, they're running a business, man. And plus, when you own a large supply of something, you don't want to be completely centralized. You have to slowly release it. Like they're not trying to dump it on you. If they were going to dump it on you, they'd sell like 10% of the supply on your head and rug it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And then what was the other thing I was looking at? And then I was looking over here, and it talks about similar coins, which made me think that was interesting because the next similarist coin is Chainlink. I think I just made up a word. And I didn't realize it says best match in the left top hand corner over here of the box. And then the second best would be Filecoin. Third best would be Near. Then you go to biggest gainer, which I'm like, does that even count? Does this saying is similar to it? Because
it is. They are similar. The reason why is because
but they're saying Filecoin's more similar than Render.
Yes. The reason why is because even though ICP is a layer 1, Sean's saying you can have a node on ICP. Yes, it's very easy to run a node on ICP. And
is that why it's untracked? Is that what running nodes is? Like, what's untracked mean?
No, untracked just means that CoinMarketCap doesn't have access to all of the data necessary to track the token distribution. But yeah, you.
So, but is this token inflationary? Is Sean? Do you know if ICP is inflationary?
I would not say so. You have to take in more consideration than just max supply, right? You have to find out. You have to look at the unlock schedule and the emissions rate, and you have to say, okay, at what rate has it increased so far over time? And I don't know that off the top of my head, but the fact that there's no max supply means that in theory, yes, that could change at any time.
Well, same with Bitcoin.
Run up. Well,
anything could do that because Bitcoin, all the nodes, they would never do that. So I'm told.
Right.
Would never do that. Whoa. Bitcoin pumped.
It would be. Oh heck yeah!
I have held Link. I am. We'll go look at Chainlink. I'm bullish. I'm uber bullish on Chainlink. I think it's a slug at times. Don't get me wrong. And I think it's one of the last ones to pump most of the time. But there's a reason why it's number 13 in this spot. They deserve to be here.
Yeah.
And
they
deserve. Sergey Makarov or whatever his name is. He's part of like the team that founded Bitcoin.
What? You mean that he was a cypherpunk?
No, I think he was related to some of the developers.
I don't know. Yeah, Link deserves to knock something out of the top 10 for sure. Link was my first big buy in crypto. I've narrowed down my portfolio.
Also, no max supply.
Link is it's pained me to do this, but I had to do it. I narrowed down my portfolio so much.
That's what I did,
and I got rid of some of the things that had to go, and it hurt me so bad to do it.
I will buy Link back. It belongs in it. It's too late to make that switch now from me this sport.
Right.
But I am very. Trent, you muted yourself. That's why I started talking.
Another one that hurt me to get rid of was Algorand.
I don't own any Algorand. I want to accumulate it.
Yeah, I mean, I had all three of those, and I had a decent little amount of them. But at the end of the day,
that's what happened to me.
Yeah,
I had like 20 coins. And I'm like, I love all of these coins, but I need to consolidate into 10. I actually I consolidated down to like 7. It was like tough. Like I had to like think this one or this one, this one or this one. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go with this one, and that's how I kind of made choices, black and white. And then another thing,
it's solid.
Extremely bearish on Polkadot, and I Oh, dude, I'm a huge H bar guy.
Drop a +1 in the chat if Calvin, if you
You know what? I'll go get my
if you're
hoodie.
bullish on H bar.
I just wanted to say, dude, there was this interview. It's no longer on the internet with Gavin Woods, and he did the interview, and he said some very Epstein-like things and worse in this interview, and I was blown away. I was like, what just came out of his mouth? And ever since then, I was like, dude, I don't care the tech behind this coin. I can't buy it. And that interview, dude, disappeared. And I was really into Polkadot in 2020. I was like, I want to learn all about this. So I kept looking it up on the internet. And that's how I found that interview. It disgusted me, the things that man said. All right, I'm going to pull up HBAR.
Black Smack, what's up, dude? You know, and that's not BitBoy conspiracy either. Like, Tyler saw that with his own eyes.
Dude, Hedera will be a top 10 coin, I'm predicting. Either this bull run or next bull run. I'm so bullish. Did you saw the episode, Sean, that we just did on Hedera this week? How they got a new council member? You could say governing council, but they got rid of the governing, so it's not there. 50 billion, 42 billion circulation. Lehman Baird is a freaking genius. Binance.
Well, while you're scrolling, the most bullish thing about ICP in my mind now, just because I felt like we left that unresolved, that conversation, is the fact that it removes the need for Amazon Web Services. You know, the problem with blockchain today is that the
also
only thing
Trent,
that's actually stored on the blockchain are the addresses, the contract addresses, the wallet addresses, the public and private keys, and everything that's necessary to verify transactions, right? So say, take an NFT, for example. The only thing that's actually stored on the blockchain is the identity of that token, right? The string of numbers that identify that token.
What up, Flat Smack?
The actual art of the NFT is hosted on Amazon Web Services, and that's a problem, right?
This is for Mr. Sean. Hey, Derricon, dog, Denver. That's right, man.
Yeah.
That's
now,
right. The pros go.
Both ICP and Cardano have the infrastructure to host everything on the blockchain and eliminate the need for Amazon Web Services. Although I will say ICP was faster to market with that, but Cardano was never first to market, you know. So there you go.
Oh yeah, dude. I was buying HBAR all the way through, dude, 4.5 cents to 7 cents. I got a little bag of it now, and I am very happy with that. I have a couple of friends of mine that were like super bullish. They talked me into some of it. I actually sold some XRP and swung it into that, which actually worked out good for me. BlackRock holds a lot of Chainlink. I did not know that. But I was going to say also on Chainlink, I didn't know they were doing unlocks. Hedera did unlocks, and the last unlock was also in May. So guys, there's no more tokens coming out. That's it, man. They're all unlocked.
Hey,
I am sorry to hear that, Calvin, at a loss. I never like selling tokens at a loss, so sometimes we have to do what we have to do. I hope you might have sold it at a loss, but you swung it into something else that's now up in profit, so it's not like a true loss, if you understand.
yeah.
Hedera, 16 cents, dude. Up 3% in the last 24 hours. The thing about Hedera is that it's an ISO product too, and they kind of pump with all the other ISOs. So it's kind of hard to be like, well, it's not. Why is it not pumping? Well, is XRP pumping? Is Cardano pumping? Is Stellar Lumens pumping? Like even ADA, when it ran up to like what trend did it went up to $1.10 back in May?
Yes.
Well,
Wait, on the announcement on Trump's True Social of the crypto stockpile, ADA shot to about $1.20.
Well, it's just like,
A little chart update, which we'll get to later, but Bitcoin is right now attempting to break the 200 EMA
$1.12.
on the 1 hour, or the 200 MA on the 1 hour, which is sitting at about $104,679. So it's $8 away.
And also just looking at this chart, guys, on a Cardano, it jumped to a $1.20 back in like a little mini bull run that we had, a little tiny phase. And if I had to guess, just like I was just looking at, what the frick was that meme called? Big Dick? What did you say it was called? Bi Dick?
Did you just say big dick?
Yeah, Big Dick. Zibic. Zibic. Big Dick. Dick, Big Zibby. Minus
Big
that,
dick.
like, Big Dick. I was going to say, when we look at the charts, I was saying Zibic would come down to here. And if you're going off that analysis of like the trend from Zibic, Cardano is just about there. And once we hit, once we hit this area, which we might have already touched it right here. Yeah, we did. We touched it. I think that will have the momentum to shoot that leg up. And I think our next leg is going to be as long as this downtrend. And that's up. That's up. It's like this. You can't really see right here, but you go from the red and it goes straight up. That's a long leg. And I think now we're stretching out and we're going to have that same leg coming up too. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
What are we looking at? Cardano. I want to get off this meme coin. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm so bullish on Cardano. I don't own any right now. Unfortunately, I made mistakes. I used to own almost 100,000 Cardano coins. I don't own them anymore.
It's like me with Link. Sometimes you just gotta, you end up making moves and.
Well, at one point in time, I only held XRP, Cardano, and Bonk, and I was like, "That's my portfolio." And then we had that ginormous fucking pump in May right up here. And I had a lot of my friends come up to me. That's the problem with some groups of people, because you got to stick to your roots and what you believe in. That was my mistake. I was up here and everything was pumping. Like Pal AI was pumping. Destro was pumping. Beam was pumping. I had some friends go, you need to diversify. You need to diversify. And dude, I lost hope in what I was believing in. And I sold Cardano and bought all these coins, and they tanked on me, man. I was exit liquidity. If your friend's telling you buy something, stay away, because that means it's pumped, and they want you to get in.
Do you want a little Friday tangent?
Yes, of course.
So look, I've said this before in one of our first batch of videos. Okay, like 3 months ago, but. One of the reasons, just one, and it's going to sound crazy and silly and a bunch of other things, but one of the reasons that I hold Cardano and believe in it with so much conviction is that, I am a biblical inerrantist. I believe that the Bible is the inspired word of God, and I believe that it's in its original manuscripts that it's inerrant and without error in everything that it affirms. And in my view of the future, we call this eschatology, right? The Greek word eschaton, which means the last things, and so eschatology is the study of the last things. Think Book of Revelation, etc., etc. Well, in Daniel chapter 11, when the world is being dominated by this Antichrist figure, who in Revelation 13 causes everyone, the text says everyone, both small and great, rich and poor, slave or free, to take a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, without which they cannot buy or sell, right? Well, it makes you think, 10 years ago, that was hard to fathom. 10 years ago, to restrict the buying and selling of everyone in the world, yeah, you could turn off their credit cards. You know what I mean? But 10 years ago, that was a hard concept. Today, you realize that if everything goes onto a closed blockchain, like WorldCoin, or if everyone, or
Man,
if
what do you think
everything,
about that Cardano question? Sorry, I'm derailing your thought.
uh,
Cardano mom.
CEO is going to be on the crypto board in the future. Yeah, I absolutely think so.
Is he talking about Charles? Or is he actually talking? I think actually Cardano mom is an actual influencer though.
I think he meant. I think he's talking about Charles.
Oh.
There is no CEO, and if there was a CEO, it would be Charles.
He's appointed.
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about something else. But point being is that fast forward 10 years later, and now we understand that if everything goes on to a closed system blockchain like WorldCoin or like a CBDC, a government issued CBDC, then you can think about how easy it is to restrict the buying and selling of the whole world. You just blacklist their wallet.
Yeah.
And they can't buy your, you know what I mean? So, yeah, he's talking about Charles. So, in Daniel chapter 11, the problem is...
So I call him Chucky.
if you just read Revelation 13, you get this idea that... in one fell swoop, that everyone is going to be restricted from buying or selling based on whether or not they take this mark, right? Well,
Charles
in Daniel
chapter... Sorry.
In Daniel chapter 11... this group of people whom Daniel calls the kings of the East. Now, we don't know who they are. One could assume some of the Asian nations, because it would be east of Jerusalem, right? Well, the kings of the East resist the Antichrist. They resist this dominating world leader. Well, how are those nations going to resist him without their own form of funding? That's a really important question, right?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. Which means that the only truly decentralized money is going to be the way that they fund. And there's two things that emerge. Bitcoin, because it's hard money, and Cardano, because it adds a computational layer to Bitcoin, and it's truly decentralized. So, I mean, look, I'm not saying, this is just conjecture here. I'm not saying that like Cardano is going to be used by end time nations that resist the Antichrist, but believe it or not, it's one of the reasons why I hold Cardano, because I actually believe it's a hedge like Bitcoin, but for different reasons. I believe that it's a hedge against globalism. And if you're an anti-globalist, well, there's two things that you can there's two important things to do as an anti-globalist with your money, right? One is buy Bitcoin, and in my opinion, the other is buy Cardano. And if you want to add to those, probably I don't know, donate to other anti-globalist educational platforms or whatever else. But anyways, what's your thought on all that?
I don't have a lot of thoughts on that, Trent. I was just gonna let you do your thing.
Yeah.
My thought is that
I know you're the anti-globalist kind of guy.
Hey, I'm a gamer. I love video games. I play Apex whenever I have some free time in my hands, not very often, and I slay foos, man. I used to go like pro MLG, like Halo 2, Halo 3, like that was my bread and butter, dude. Like rank 50 all the way, that was me. But regardless, what freaked me out about crypto is I knew it was going to be the end of the world. I knew it was going to lead to it. And then one day, I didn't buy it for like 10 years, 8 years. And I wanted to buy it before. And it hit me one day. I was like, you know what? The world's going to end regardless. I might as well die rich. Duh. Why would I want to die poor? I was like, God gave me a brain. I might as well use it. But that's my 2 cents on that matter, Trent. And then
I do hear you, Flat Smack. Charles is kind of weird. He's
He's
an
not weird.
emotionally-
He's just on the spectrum.
he's an emotionally charged guy. Like, yeah,
You know, though,
Um,
he kind of actually makes me think a little bit about Ben,
Yeah.
because he gets attacked a lot and he hates trolls.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
I was going to point out this too. So it's interesting about the Crow chain, is we have an unlock every day until 2030. Not every day, sorry, every month until 2030 on the 6th. That's just the first. But then at some point it switches to 16th, because I was just looking. It's only 1% of the supply. But they didn't remit. See, it goes to the 16th at some point. I'm not sure when they switch. When did they switch to the 16th? I don't know. It says the first here, but apparently it's the 16th. They must be idiots. Anyways, coin Make the Truth Up is on here. Coin Make the Truth Up, Trent. Coin market cap. So every month they're going to remit 1% of the supply until 2030. And actually, this has some sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, not mine. I had some confusion about it, because they burned 70% of the supply last bull run, and then they decided to remint it this bull run due to node validations that they own majority of. I didn't really like this idea, but then the idea didn't come till the CEO went and had dinner with Trump and talked to him in person, and came back and said the golden age for Crow is on its way. And then next day he says, we're building a building in DC across from the Trump White House. Then when they're doing with this remit, what a lot of people don't take in consideration is they instantly see number go up, in supply, which makes them bearish. But the original amount was 100 billion, and they didn't mint more than that. And they still have a burning mechanism in place. And then that's a permanent thing compared to this is only not a permanent thing. But what a lot of people don't understand is when you remint tokens, that increases your market cap, because market cap's not based on money held. It's based on evaluation. So as they remint tokens and they don't sell them, their market cap's going to bump them up. And that's actually almost a genius idea. So I am bullish on Crow Chain. We'll see how we play out through this next bear market on the price, but I am uber bullish on this. And I don't think 1% increase is really going to affect anything for the remainder of this bull run. I mean, what do you think, Trent? Do you think so? When do you think the bull run's going to be over? By January 2026, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% increase.
Yeah. By January, I think we're over by January. And look, could there be a scenario where the spike, the blow off top, goes just over the hump into 2026? Sure. The cycle would in no way be changed or broken if that happened. Now, if it goes deep into quarter one, we really have to start asking ourselves questions about a super cycle, right? I'm a 4-year cycle guy.
I love this picture.
But I'm not a 4-year cycle guy because I'm just so close-minded that data cannot change my mind.
Trent, are you too young to recognize this picture?
I'm older than you, aren't I?
Well, I don't know. Do you recognize this picture?
I don't.
Powerpuff Girls. My gosh.
Thomas Rasmussen says, I'm banking on Filecoin having a massive rally during the bull market. Blue chip that actually needs a run. I completely agree. I am bullish on Filecoin. I think that it's going to come out of nowhere and it's going to turn heads. I do think so.
Also, guys, we have a lot of people in here watching, and we're going to go move into some more Trump and Elon news. But before we go into that at some point, please, if you're new, support us, because YouTube doesn't. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe bell. Even if you don't want to come back, just do it because you like us. And we would really appreciate it. You know, what goes around comes around. You bless us, blessings will come to you.
Out of the benevolence of your heart. And speaking of hearts, it would touch T Square right in his
Okay.
heart if you subscribe
So,
to the channel. Also,
yes.
check out our interview we released this afternoon with Believes Crypto, and
Some
I'll just say it like this for those of you who don't know, we gave some updates to our community that we haven't talked about yet about Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, and we revealed that we're somewhat close to the situation, and we don't endorse everything that he's done, okay? But
Go watch the interview. That's
yes,
just it. And there.
Yes,
Go watch
yes.
the interview. We'll talk about it.
Yes.
Filecoin, almost 2 billion supply, only 675 circulating. Who holds a lot of this? It's only on 6 places. Bing X. Have you heard of Bing X a lot?
Yeah.
Is that related to Bing itself or no?
No.
Bingo.
Search
Locked,
engine, no.
44%. Locked, does that mean it's just being staked, or does that mean there's more to be unlocked?
Locked means that it's
Holy crap, dude! Check out
or locked
Filecoin.
up in protocol.
They had a simple, dude. I've never seen somebody have so many bubble allocations. Look at that. Simple minting, 20%, 24-month fundraising, 12-month fundraising, another 6-month fundraiser after that. Protocol Labs and team contributions, they got 6%, I think. Oh no, here they are, 5%. Filecoin Foundation. What's the difference between Protocol Labs team contributions and Filecoin Foundation? Another fundraiser for 3 years, and then Protocol Labs again. Why is Protocol Labs in here twice? So Protocol Labs and the team contributors got 17%. That's actually freaking wild. And dude, their last unlock is in 2050. Dude, I'll be like freaking 50 by then. They have aggressive unlocks up to, where is this? Aggressive unlocks till May 2026, which will be off of this board. And it's actually, believe it or not, is when you want to do your unlocks, because when the whole market's going 8, that's when the most money can be made to support the company during the bear market. Then it mellows out for a good many years. That's pretty wild, though. So they have one more aggressive unlock.
Yeah.
What makes Filecoin unique? Filecoin aims to restore data in a decentralized manner, unlike cloud storage companies like Amazon Web Services. Oh, I guess it is from like ICP, Cloudflare, which are prone to problem of centralization. Filecoin leverages its decentralized nature to protect the integrity of data's location, making it easily retrievable and hard to censor. Decentralized storage systems like Filecoin allow people to be their own custodians of their data. As well, makes the web more accessible to peoples worldwide, since participations in Filecoin network by mining, storing, and directly related to winning more block rewards. Filecoin incentives participate to act honestly and store as much data as possible. Okay, I actually like that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Benefits to Filecoin. Firstly, with the launch of free market specializing in data storage, there is a tendency to reduce the cost of service itself. The market becomes more open to everyone, which gives a lower price for using the network. That's actually really cool. As of September 2022, the network has united over 20,000 users. That's a very, very small amount of people.
Yeah.
Users and computers around the world. Creating like 20,000 computers around the world. Dude, like one in every city is not even 20,000. You know what I mean? That's a very small number. There's 20,000 in my little tiny town I live in. Users and computers around the world, creating an extensive community with similar goals and requests. Which, by the way, I couldn't create something to get 20,000 people to use it. That'd be really hard, like a protocol. Goals
Right.
on my YouTube channel, I can do that, and people just follow me because they like my voice. Goals and requests. Moreover, Filecoin opts for existing resources. Instead of creating new technologies and devices, miners can join the network from anywhere in the world. finally, Filecoin is a decentralized network with its own ways of protecting information, preventing simple point attacks. I actually don't know what a simple point attack is. Do you know, Trent?
A simple point attack?
Yeah.
No, not off the top of my head.
Have you heard of that term before?
I feel like I have.
What makes you, Thomas? Are you still here?
It's a 51% attack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never heard of what coined that.
Right.
Thomas, why do you like Filecoin? Another gem you may check out is Fort. Oh, yeah. Crypto John talks about Fort. Also a great option to do well during the bull run. Curious of your thoughts. Okay. First off, I love Crypto John. He's a very nice gentleman on his channel. There was some pretty interesting evidence I've seen on other videos created about him that made me not bullish on him. I don't know the guy personally, so I can't say that, but there was a pretty convincing videos of things that you guys should check out yourself. And yeah, you should check it out yourself. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Charts. Sparta. This is Sparta. See, now this one has total supply, Trent. Total supply 1B, max supply 1B. 8,000 holders is not a lot. It's not a lot. Trent, would you agree with that? Why did it say
8,000 holders is not.
Why is the circuit supply down here? A little more than half the supply is circulating. Okay, what it means unlocks.
But I also don't have a grid for how many holders is a lot of holders with a low cap coin.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. That is also true.
I mean, granted, okay. Oh, yeah, that's 37 million market cap. Yeah, I don't know. I have no way of knowing, like, how that amount of holders stacks up against other coins of similar size.
Yeah, well, and the only place it seems to be really located. Actually, I'm going to look it up on Bubbles to tell me all the exchanges it's at real fast. Because it only shows Gate.io to hold. It's a rank 559 token. Okay, that's wild. It's down 71% for the year. It's on Mexi, Bybit, KuCoin, Gate.io, Bitmart, BingX, and it's on Coinbase. That's kind of good. I did not know that it was on Coinbase. Down 71% is kind of a lot, though. Investors, AI16Z. That's interesting. Also, Coinbase Ventures. I'm not too familiar how many investors are also in it, but I know they're a security-like firm. Practical effort in these markets. Filecoin simply has just fallen to an extreme amount. It will turn heads on that alone, making the general public their gains. I agree with you, Thomas. I do agree with you on that. I don't own any Filecoin. I don't plan on buying any, but I was very bullish on the last bull market. It didn't make my top 10 holdings for the amount of how I view the market and how I buy is when my allocation goes up, I'll be able to include another coin. Like once you hit like $10,000, that's to me is like 3 coins, and then you can scale off of that. You know, like I would say $50,000, you should have about 5 coins. That's just how my brain works. Is because that's how much money I want to allocate. Well, maybe 7 coins on 50,000. And so as I put money into the market, I will buy the coins, and I just don't have that capital to include Filecoin into my portfolio.
So I can go to the Onyx coin chart on TradingView real quick.
Did he ask about Onyx?
Yeah. He said XCN.
Great option to do well during the bull run. Curious your thoughts. Also, Thomas, do you know Crypto John? Just out of curiosity. By the way, I really like your profile picture, the suit and tie, dude. It looks like lifer style. I don't know if you're a lifer fan or not.
That's more of like look, I don't mean to caricaturize, okay, but that's more of a Pentecostal preacher suit than crypto lifer, you know.
Yeah, but I think it looks good, man.
It does.
I like Texas.
Yeah.
Primarily because I don't own very many of them. Onyx Coin. Did you pull it up too, Trent, or no?
Well, I have the
Wow, dude, look at Onyx Coin though. You know, it's really that is an unnatural chart, bro. I'm not gonna lie. See the beginning? Look, it was literally dead on the life of it, and then boom, that gets when it gets action, and then it dies again, and boom, it gets action, and it looks like to me, if I had to guess, it's gonna die again, and then boom, it'll get more action. That's what I'm thinking, and then we'll probably go up to like way up over here on the chart. Oof. But
Yeah,
why was it dead, Trent?
I'll look at it on TradingView real quick, and I'll put you back up. So, so there's the same thing you were seeing on TradingView. I mean, Trent, it's such a grind, man.
Crypto John also talks about Onyx Coin too. Thomas, are you familiar with Crypto John? Is he taking your ideas?
Guys, everybody, Thomas Rasmussen is the brain behind Crypto John. No, I don't know. What if he was?
That'd be wild.
Anyways, let's see. That is very strange. Look, if this was a 2022 move, I wouldn't be as weirded out by it, except for the fact that the move up from the bottom wouldn't have been as, it's lackluster.
Well, without looking at more research, like if it was a big update, then was there what caused it to go up like that? Did it just get chilled a lot? Because if you look at the coin called Reef, Trent, are you able to pull up Reef real fast? REFF.
Yeah.
If you look up Reef, they were also dead, and they shoot up like this and then die again.
Right.
XCN.
Why
is everybody buying XCN and Zebek?
Look, I'll tell you the pop that we should have had from this kind of chart
should have been higher.
Yeah.
Way higher.
Like the measured move.
Should have placed it a double, triple. It should have been almost quadruple where it went.
Yeah.
The flag should go all the way to the down. I thought to the bottom, right?
Oh yeah.
Trent, are you dragging your chart down, or you have it locked again?
Oh.
Where I was showing you on the side where the numbers are at, where the red bar is, where it says 0.01464. If you go no, click off it. Go to your side scroll. Yeah, the A and L. Yeah, click that A. There you go. Now you should be able to drag the screen around. I think. Did that you drag it up or down?
Well, yeah, I'm trying.
What about going back? Go back to that bar and click the L. Oh, the A's on too. A turned back on. Why did the A turn back on?
Oh, there we go. I don't know why it turned back on. So,
look at the volume. Is that the L? Did the L make the volume so intricate? I've never seen it look so small like that. And large. What the hell?
Also, my stuff just changed.
Oh, by the way, guys, Bitcoin is a pumping. Have a great day, gentlemen. Don't miss the Filecoin run in the next 4 months. I did let you know ahead of time. Hey, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you. You have a great rest of your day. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for subscribing to us. And you have a great night, sir.
So that's the measured move from that kind of.
Oh, he said he's never heard of Crypto John. XCN is purely manipulation. IMO. Never heard of Crypto John. IMO. That's not familiar to LOL, right? IMO. What's IMO?
No, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, he says that it's manipulation.
For XCN.
Yeah, XCN.
I couldn't tell you without actually looking at what they're doing.
So look, I mean, at first he just said that he made it big on XCN with his mindset, and then he says XCN is purely manipulation. So by that litmus test, he's being honest. He's not like that. That doesn't have all the signs of a shill to me. He's just saying that he made it big on that play, but then he's admitting that it's manipulated.
Guys, if you're new here, please smash that like button, subscribe bell. Not only on YouTube, but on X, Rumble, or Twitter. Not Twitter, but Twitch. We're trying to grow, guys, and more exposure we can get, the better it helps us.
Yes. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get off of this, and I'm gonna go to Bitcoin.
Yeah, you should probably try it out, Bitcoin. And I don't know if you want to do ADA Spotlight or if you should just wrap it up.
I feel like I kind of did an impromptu ADA Spotlight. So, okay, Bitcoin on the weekly chart. So look, the only thing that I don't like is the Stokes are high on the weekly. Okay, but I have a feeling if this weekly candle closes, anywhere below all-time highs, then once the candle closes, the stochastic RSI is going to come down, which is a good thing. So the weekly, I don't have a whole lot to say about this other than we're a little far from the 21. Like, we've got to flag out a little bit, like if we make a
Mark B. What did Mark B say? Turbo, you gotta like from me. Gotta Ike from me. Dude, I love Turbo, bro. I'm a Turbo holder, so I don't know how much I could say without being financial advice, but I love Turbo, okay? And I hope it pumps.
If we do this sort of thing on the weekly, then the 21 will come up to meet it. But, that's not bullish for June.
What are you looking at?
I'm just theorizing.
Are you able to chart out Turbo? Say what your opinion is.
Yeah, one second. I'll make this quick. So let me get rid of that drawing. So there's one scenario. Okay, one scenario is that this flags out sort of sideways and down on the weekly and allows the 21 moving average to come up to meet price action. Okay, the other way this could happen is, let me get rid of these lines completely. The other way this can happen is if, kind of like, sorry, I gotta get rid of this line. Okay. Kind of like back here, okay? In this move back here, on this candle, I could have said, oh, we're far away from the 21. And then on the next candle, I could have said, hey, we're far away from the 21. And then we could have got all the way up here, and I could have still said, look how far away we are from the 21. Right? From here, from right here to the 21 was a further move than where we are right now. Okay, so, and then, but it holds true that, look, it's a date with destiny. The 21 moving average is a date with destiny. Eventually, eventually it had to show up for its date with destiny right here at the 21 moving average. Okay, the white line. But and there's many other moves like it. Those past moves, what they show me is that something that could happen, and I do think this is the more likely scenario. I think that we could come up here to 120, somewhere between 120, 130,000 over the summer, and the 21 EMA, sorry, the 21 MA, sort of comes up toward the previous all-time high. And then we have a move down to bounce off of the 21 again. So, one scenario, and I know I'm doing the thing where I say it could go up or it could go down, but one scenario is that we have a not exactly a bearish summer, just a boring summer, and we allow the 21 moving average to come up to meet price action, or we have a bullish summer and the 21 moving average is pulled up toward the previous all-time high, and then after coming to 120, 130,000, we have a 10 to 20% dip that brings us back to the previous high between 112 to 110,000, right? So, something like that. Now, let's look at the daily chart, and I'll make the rest of these time frames quick. So right now, we are attempting a break of, I wouldn't call it a falling wedge, but we're attempting a break of this descending trading channel right here. You see the price creeping above that yellow, above the pattern. And this is possibly, I don't want to say confirmed, but it's attempting to be confirmed by a bullish cross on the MACD on the daily. So that's good. Or not the MACD, sorry, the stochastic RSI. And the MACD could lag and cross bullish, if we project it out, let's say by like June 10th or something. The RSI is neutral, which means it's a good place to bounce. The price action has held the 50 moving average beautifully, and we're back up above the point of control on the VRVP, the visible range of the volume profile. This is where most of the trading, most of the buy and sell orders have taken place, right here at $103,500. That means if you're over it, the bulls are in control. If you're below it, the bears are in control. And the bears barely tried, no pun intended, barely tried to take control for a brief moment right here, getting under the point of control, and we've already bounced back up. So that's a good sign. I do need us to get above this 21 MA at 106.5. Which, by the way, there is a, I'll share this tab instead. There's an impending short squeeze that could be happening over here at $107,000. So this is from a site called Bookmap, and it shows you where most of the liquidations are. And up here at $107,000, a lot of the shorts are getting wrecked.
Holy smokes.
Right? So what you see is that this big red bar right here, a lot of shorts were coming in at 104 too, right? And those shorts are getting liquidated at 107. And right now, that's the most liquidity on the chart. The most liquidity on the on Bookmap, waiting to get eaten up, is at 107. So, just a little tidbit for us. Come down to the 4 hour. Whoa, what happened to my chart? Okay. Okay, so we have effectively reclaimed the 200 EMA. Okay, so what is Lifer's model with the 200 EMA? Breaking the 200 EMA shows you that an explosive move could be coming, which it did. You would call this dip explosive, right? We lost the 200 EMA, and we had an explosive move to the downside. Now we've also had a quick recovery, and we've reclaimed the 200 EMA. Now, I don't know if Lifer would say that necessarily means that now we have an explosive move to the upside coming necessarily, but we do have all of that liquidity up at $107,000 waiting to get eaten up. We also have a bullish cross on the MACD on the 4 hour. I don't like that the stochastics are high. However, it's not the end of the, that's not a death sentence. So now come down to the 1 hour and look at what's happening on the 1 hour. Actually, while we were on stream, the 1 hour has now reclaimed the 200 EMA. And we had
you got a question.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about algo? Hey, and Mark B. Well, first I want to say, hey, YouTube is a hard grind. We're trying to grow out there. It would touch T-Square right in his heart if you subscribe to the channel. And
what's that like? And then we're going to algo.
By subscribing to the channel, Robert, you joined the Brew Crew, the most hydrated community on YouTube. And also check out our interview this afternoon with
Believe Crypto with some alpha about BitBoy.
Crypto. Hey, say no more.
No more.
So, yeah, we appreciate all the support. What do I think about algo? I like algo a lot. I think that, the pure proof of stake, meaning that in theory, you can, without having to delegate or do anything, actually, just by holding your staking, just by holding the token, you can get staking rewards. Now, I don't know if they've fully fine-tuned that yet, but it's pretty innovative. I like it. I also like that, there's if you go on Twitter and you look at a project called Lofty AI. Now, they don't have a token, I don't think. But if you go on Twitter and you look at an account called Lofty AI, they are doing tokenization. Like, big things are happening on Algorand with real-world asset tokenization. Okay, Lofty AI is taking
like what, Trent?
Why does the term escape me right now? Real estate. I kept wanting to say retail. Real estate. Tokenized real estate. That's what Lofty AI is. It's a real estate tokenization platform. So say you own an Airbnb, right? Or say an Airbnb owner lists their property with Lofty AI. You can go, there's pages of houses right now on the platform that you can go look at. And what you can do on Algorand, this is powered by Algorand. You can go and you can buy fractions, fractionalized real estate, right? You can go and buy fractions of these houses on Lofty AI. You can pay for it in Algorand, and you can, when that Airbnb revenue comes in,
Then
you're actually entitled to a portion, to a fraction of that income, because you own a fraction of the house, right? On the deed, you're an owner of the house. You are literally buying a fractionalized portion of that real estate, and it's all powered by Algorand. So, hey, like, if all of my free money wasn't wrapped up in the market, like between, you know, Bitcoin, Cardano, XRP, Ondo, Render, and some Cardano native tokens like Indy and Iagon, you know, I'm not swimming in money, you know what I mean? Like I have a good little sized crypto portfolio, but if I had more discretionary money, I would be on Lofty AI, scooping up fractions of this real estate. I think that Algorand is going to do incredible things. Not only that, it's ISO 20022 compliant, and that's a great bullish sign for the project. I also love their trailer that they put out not too long ago of a kid paying at an ice cream truck or whatever with Algorand, and the whole point of the trailer was like, hey, you try to pay with Bitcoin and you wait like 30 minutes for the transaction to approve, and you try to pay with Ethereum and you wait like 15 minutes for the transaction to clear, you know what I mean? And then they pay with Algorand, and it says more instant than a credit card swipe, and they walk away with their ice cream before it starts melting, you know? So yeah, there are a lot of reasons why I'm bullish on Algorand. Without looking at the chart right away, I do know like the biggest Algorand permable on YouTube is AJ Writes Crypto, right? And I've watched some of his content, and what he always says is that above 18 cents is the window of opportunity for Algorand. So, you know, yeah, that's that about wraps it up for me for Algo. What are you thinking, Tyler? Hello.
Algorand supported by the Clinton Foundation. Well, those who don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that wouldn't keep me from.
It would. Oh, it would.
Well, it might keep. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay.
I mean, if someone said you're going to do that, or get your stuff chopped off, what would you do? Of course, you're going to support it because you don't want your stuff chopped off. But you never put that in that thought.
Yeah.
That'll make you really bullish on whatever it is in front of you really quick.
Yes, well, you know.
You almost ready, Mr. Trent?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. Wherever you're watching, on whatever platform we're on, because we're on almost everything, please do smash that like, hit that subscribe. We are really out here putting the grind out here for you guys, because we do care about you, and we know you guys care about us, because otherwise you wouldn't be here watching us. And I want to thank you, every single one of you, for your time. You guys show up for us each and every day. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow What time will we be back tomorrow? We will not be back at our normal time because normal times on weekends are kind of whenever we can fit you guys in because I have 3 kids and 8 families and 2 godfathers. So it's like one of those things it's hard to figure out when YouTube fits in. Trent, I don't know what he's got going on. He might squeeze you in. Either I'll squeeze you in, but regardless, we're going to squeeze you in. We also will be doing an interview tomorrow, so you're going to get a double dosage again. We're trying to really do the grind, guys, and do interviews and start putting them out for you guys to get other people's perspectives. And yeah, I mean,
we got a lot going on too. I've got to preach every Sunday in Buena Park, 2 hours away from me for like the next 4 weeks, and then I probably have some other speaking engagements lined up after that. So yeah. So
thank you guys for showing up. We're going to dab in, and just like we dab in, we dab out, dabby, you know, and we'll see you on the flippity flop.
Cheers.